Give us the notes. Let's have a conversation. Thank you very much. Politicians living in this sort of super highway of misinformation. It was exciting. You felt like a spy.
Okay, so hello, everyone. This is me jumping in right here. Hi. To let you know that I'm currently in a live session where I'll be talking about legal employability skills. So that's what this live session is.
So, and I'll be the most for today's training. First of all, I'd like to appreciate each and every one of us for being here today. We really appreciate you. Also, we are very pleased to
Okay, so I was just basically introducing. So I have a session right now called Legal Employability Skill, but it is organized by the National Association of Kwara State Law Students, and they have like a Google group. They have a Google Hangout link. But what I'm doing is I'm also streaming live, and I also put on my YouTube channel so that the nuggets and the discussions will still be available, generally.
So sorry.
So you can hear some things on the background, so that's the conversation group. I just wanted you to know that that's why we're here.
First of all, I'd like to appreciate each and every one of us for being here today. We are very pleased to welcome our trainer, Ayodele Ashiata Kadiri, and our trainees who had attended the last two sessions, as well as those who are attending for the very first time. So in today's training, we'll be discussing what legal employability skills are. As law students and law graduates, we're often consumed with our pursuit for academic excellence and acquiring legal knowledge. However, as much as these skills are very pertinent in order to thrive in the legal profession, they are insufficient. This is because the legal profession is a very competitive one, and this is the 21st century. As we speak, employers now have a wide range of skills, employability skills, that they look out for in candidates before recruiting them or giving them a very good offer. Beyond legal expertise. Legal expertise is one thing, employability skills are another. It is to this end that the executives of the National Association of Kwara State Law Students deemed it fit to organize this training for its members in order for them to have skills and know the things that are very essential in order to properly position themselves in the legal market. And at the last two sessions, we had trainers talk on what legal writing and legal research entails, and we had a training on legal advocacy skills. So today, we'll have our train us on what legal employability skills are. And this is not that person than a very knowledgeable and highly resourceful person, a person of Ayodele Ashiata Kadiri. Ayodele Ashiata Kadiri is a senior associate at Templars, an internationally ranked top-tier law firm in Nigeria. I think at this point I need to state that our trainer has been ranked as a rising star by the International Financial Law Review in mergers and acquisition, capital market, and bank practices. So I'd implore you all to join me as I welcome on board our trainer for today, Ms. Ayodele Ashiata Kadiri. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. I don't know, can you hear me? Thank
Yes,
you.
Can hear you.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So how many minutes do I have? I just want to know so that I
You
can.
have like 1 hour, 20 minutes.
Well, that's actually a lot of time. I'm not really sure that
Yes,
I
ma'am.
have so many things, but I think.
We know you have a whole lot for us today, so we want enough time
Oh,
to
I mean,
share
the
with
timing
us.
the timing is actually not bad. But what I would just want to say is I think I would rather do something that is more interactive,
All right,
because
come on.
the way I like to approach these things is I feel like some of the things I'm going to tell you you've already heard it before. But if I engage you like on a one-on-one basis, I feel like it's better so you can give me context to the questions. But I mean, I work with the timing that I have. But what I really encourage is please ask questions. If you have any, maybe I heard somebody say this, I heard about that. I'm very happy to hear you. So I mean, by way of disclosure, so I'm going to put this on my YouTube. So I'm kind of streaming live on Instagram at the moment. So if you see that I'm not looking at you, I'm actually looking at you, but I'm just looking so that the people on Instagram will not just see the side of my face, they will also see.
All right, my it's fine.
Yeah, so thank you. So it's nice to meet everyone. I'm very excited to be here. And I just want to talk about the legal employability skills. But I think so. What's the demography here? So everybody here is in uni right now, right? You're all undergraduates.
We have law graduates and bachelor's one.
Okay, so you have people that are graduates at the non.
Yes.
Okay, so I think the conversation. So I'll try to identify or speak to the two of you so that nobody feels left out. So the first thing I want to say is that let's like the what I would just say. So the first thing is let's talk about life in school. So let me talk to those that are in school, right? Legal employability skills. The first thing is you need to have good grades, right? Number one, and you also need to know what you are doing. So I'm sure that that's a given because you can see that the competition is tougher. So maybe like in my time when I went to law school, maybe my time when did I finish law school? 2016. When I finished law school in 2016, the set before my set, I think they had only 5 first classes or maybe 2. So by the time we will come out of law school, we had 24. By the set after us, they had like how many? They had maybe 100. And then this last set. So when I was going to apply to jobs, a lot of people that applied with me had maybe 2-1, maybe 2-1 first class. By the time your set is going to be applying, you have people that have first class, you see. So the competition is a lot. You cannot afford, don't let anybody deceive you and tell you, I strongly believe that if anything happened and you're not able to finish with a good grade, because yes, it may not be your fault. Things would have happened, you could have fallen sick, bad things happen, some traumatic incidents. I understand that. But what I'm saying as a general rule, the first question about your legal employability, wherever you are faced, wherever you go to in life, is your academic qualification. So let's major on the major. Don't let anybody tell you this and that. Oh, you need to put yourself forward. You need to do this. You need to do that. Get extracurricular activities. By all means, do extracurricular activities. I have not said you shouldn't do that. But what I'm saying is that you can't do extracurricular activities to the detriment of your studies. You can't do extracurricular activities to the detriment of your academic success. So when I say the first thing you need to know about being legally employable is you need to have good grades. It's out of the question. Like you cannot not have good grades. So that should be the focus. Whatever you're doing, whether you're a law graduate, whether you're in law school. So if you're a law graduate and waiting to go to law school, see law school as an opportunity to make amends. So let's assume that you didn't know better. You didn't know when you were in undergrad that I didn't know, I wasn't really serious with my life then. So see law school as an opportunity to make amends, because I know I met people that in my set finished with 3rd class in their uni or passed, and then came to law school and did extremely well. You see, so that's the beginning of this conversation. If you don't have good grades, just forget about being employable, because nobody will see somebody that finished the 1st class and see somebody that had a 2-1 and pick the person that had a 2-1. Do you see? So that's the general thing. Anybody that has a first class will generally have, and I'm sure that when I say generally, as a law student, you understand what I mean. That's the basis of the conversation. So I don't know whether I've emphasized. I don't know. I can't overemphasize it, but I need to say it again. The beginning of whether am I employable, am I not employable is you need to have good grades. Good grades help you to get your foot into the door. So let's establish that, right? So the second thing is that you need to ensure that your grades and your reality match. I'm not sure whether I'm explaining correctly. So if you say you had a first class, you need to talk like a first class material. You need to speak like a first class material. You need to present yourself as a first class material. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's the second thing, and that's where the generally doesn't work. So you will see that because somebody that had a 2-1 or someone that had a third class can maybe string sentences together better than someone that has a first class, you will now see that when they put both of you side by side, the person that is trying to engage you, they prefer the person that has a 2-1 because with your first class you don't know this thing. What am I saying? What I'm saying is that when you say you have a particular grade, you need to live it. So for example, you can't tell me that you finished from a first class, you don't know how to check a law report. You can't tell me that I finished a first class, you don't know how to do issues, you know how we answer questions. I don't know, in my time it was IRAC, issues, rules, authority. You see what I mean? What's the third one? Conclusion, right?
Conclusion, yes.
Exactly. So the point is that yes, focus on your grade, but there are basic minimum things that somebody that if I hear that you have a first class, I expect you to know. So again, you have to be sure that you don't only go to school, but the school passes through. I'm not talking about when people say that they talk about activities. No, I'm talking about like actual understanding. I'm talking about actual analysis. When you pick up a case law, you should be able to read it. You should be able to distill the key. You should be able to differentiate between the obiter and the ratio. You should be able to say this is the lead judgment, this is it. You should be able to say these are the issues. You should be able to understand. I don't know if I'm making sense. You should be able to understand and analyze information. That's how you do IRAC, right? Because as lawyers, the beauty of us being lawyers is that it's not for you to just know that the Constitution says every human has a right to life. It's for you to now say if every human has a right to life and ABC happens, therefore DEFG. I don't know if that makes sense. So the second thing is that your grades and your reality have to match. You can't be saying that you're a first class graduate, you finish with a 2-1, you don't know how to read a law report. You finish with a 2-1, you don't know some basic things. If somebody asks you maybe offer an acceptance or something, you have no idea. You can't express yourself coherently. You can't make sentences in present tense and past tense. When you say I wanted to, or you're writing, you can't punctuate, you can't differentiate between things. It doesn't really make sense. So even if the way your school is or the way your education has been set, you don't have access to all those kind of things, then it behoves on you as a person to now say, I noticed that there's this gap in my education, I need to fix it. So when you're being engaged as a student, or when you're engaging, you have to be sure that your sense of analysis is strong, your sense of reasoning is strong. You should be able to argue for both sides. You should be able to make counter arguments, you see. So the point I'm trying to make is that let your education be evidence in your life. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense. Like at the very least, when people meet you, let people know that you're educated. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Though it's not about like I have a first class and all that. When you talk, do we understand what you're saying? When you're making analysis, you're making arguments. Don't make arguments like people on Twitter. That's not real life. That won't take you anywhere. Like Twitter people gonna tweet, but you as a lawyer, you need to be able to not jump into conclusions, read things through. Your comprehension is very important because your instructions in real life will come from clients. They'll send you an email. When you join transactions, when you join firms, if you go for client meetings, The clients will just be saying all sorts of things. They'll be telling you, and this is what happened, and that's what happened, and we had a meeting, or they'll send you, bulky documents. You need to read through documents and sift the information that you need. If you don't have like basic comprehension skills, you're going to miss out. So what am I saying? If you are saying that you have a first class, read and analyze things as someone that has a first class. If you're saying that you have a 2-1, let the kind of education that you've had and the quality of certificate that you profess to have, let it reflect in your interactions. So that means that you should be familiar with research, you should be familiar with communication and writing. You should write well, you should read well, you should understand well. Even if you have good grades, because another thing you need to understand is that exams are not really a test of knowledge. Is a lot of factors involved. It could also be that you were lucky enough to have read the questions that would have come out. You understand? And when they marking scripts, there are things that they look out for. So somebody may mark through your script and forgive your bad grammar because you have the case, you have the issue, do you understand? So your examinations may not really test your contextual knowledge. They just test specific information that you've been taught. Do you see? So that's why when you have a good grade, generally you also need to work to ensure that the quality of education or the quality of engagement people get from you is reflective of the kind of certificate or the kind of grades you possess. And so we see that the reason why some people will not get the jobs that they like is because when people see their certificates and they hear them or they listen to them, there's a parallel, like it's not adding up. You're listening to somebody and like, did this person really have a first class? What's going on in universities? You see those kind of things. So those are the two things. I don't know if I've carried everybody along so far. So the first thing is your grade is really, really important. Don't let anybody deceive you. Work hard, read, study, focus on what's important. When you're giving assignments, do your assignments, pay attention in class, learn the basic and fundamental principles of law, learn the fundamental skills of a lawyer, which is research, which is communication, which is analytical skills. Those things, you will develop them if you pay attention in school. So an example that, like, when people with me, they say, oh, you write well. I write well because I also write generally, apart from being a lawyer. But I find out that one of the things that really helps me to write was when I was an undergraduate, I had a goal to write a research paper every year. And I did that. I would write a research paper every year and publish it. Because back then as students, we used to have all those journals. You have journals for tax club, you have journals for Uniform chambers and all that. So that helped me to kind of pick up legal writing. It helped me to also pick up research and all that. So the point is that the one way to allow you to ensure that the quality of your presentation and quality of your engagement reflects your studies, for you to apply yourself to your studies. Don't be that student that just reads only handouts. Go to the library. When you are reading for thoughts, are you reading only Cordelia? Read Clark and Lindsay. Read what's the other one that we used to read then? I had a lecturer then, Dr. Chimba. She will make you read UK cases. We used to read UK House of the Lord cases. We'll read the cases. She will come to class. She will ask you, so what does that mean? We had another professor that would say good law or bad law. They're not just telling you, oh, read. You understand? And then I remember Professor Sonny then, he will give you the option, do you want to do tests or do you want to write a paper? You see? And a few people wrote papers, some people didn't do tests. And a lot of people that did those papers, I can tell you that it really changed. They had a different experience in that course from us. I remember, I think Ada she wrote a paper. She's in Deloitte now. Chidi wrote a tax paper. He went on to his LLM in tax. And then he's in Ernst & Young in the UK as well. So the point is, if you apply yourself, so I'm saying do well, study your books, everything. But if you apply yourself to some of the things that other people take for granted, you're not just trying to pass, you're trying to acquire knowledge, you're trying to improve yourself, you will see that the quality of experience you will have is different. Because a lot of us were just afraid that we didn't want that extra work. Because if you're going to write a paper for a professor, you know that it's not going to be beans. But if it's just exam, you just write your exam and you are out, or test. So the quality of work, the way they apply themselves, they had a different experience because they paid attention. What am I saying? I'm saying that your grade is important, but the quality of your engagement must also reflect your grade. So don't just read to la cram la po and to just IRA. I'm saying take advantage of some things. Take advantage of speaking. If they say make a presentation, be the person to put the PowerPoint presentation together. It helps you to get used to PowerPoint, you know. For example, now where I work, when we want to submit proposals, guess what we submit our proposals? We submit our proposals as PowerPoint. You know, that's how you submit proposals to get work from, you know, when a bid comes in and they say, oh, we need a lawyer to advise, we send PowerPoint documents. If I just imagine if I didn't try to get family, although yes, I got the experience, you know, when I started working on PowerPoints more. But what I'm saying is that if you had done a lot of presentations when you were in school, if when they said there's a group work, you did the presentations, PowerPoints would be a walkover for you. Do you see? So I don't know if that's the second point. You need to engage yourself. You need to not try to focus on I just want to pass my exams. If you pass your exams but you don't engage as somebody that passed the exams, people will continue to doubt your papers. And that's why people will say silly things like, oh, people that have first class, they're not streetwise, they don't know, they won't succeed in life because they just crammed and they poured. You see? But when you were in school, you actually applied yourself. You will learn, so like some things you will learn, you pick up a lot of things and they will help you. So that's the second thing. The third thing I want to talk about in terms of being employable is, well, it's not a skill. I don't really want to focus on skills because you see, I don't really focus on technical skills because the truth is that technical skills change and the market also changes, you see, and your path in life people's path in life are very different. And I give an example of a lot of people that start out, they think they want to become lawyers, but they end up in maybe like an Ernst & Young, or they end up in like an audit firm. And as a lawyer, one of the tools of trade that you use is your word processing. You do a lot of Microsoft Word, you just type in Word. But did I know that, can I tell you that if you end up in an audit firm, you do a lot of Excel work. So if I now tell you today that, oh, based on being a lawyer, you need to do Microsoft Word, but your path in life carries you to where you need to do maybe like an Excel, or you need to do some apps, or you need to learn something, I've done you a disservice because I've told you that you need to focus on Word and Excel, but you go out and you find out that there is Excel, but you're not prepared for Excel. So I won't focus on telling you technical. So what I would say is that the third thing I'm going to add to being employable is you need to be teachable. You need to be you need to learn things. You need to be able to learn things easily. Because if you don't do that, if you don't try to learn things, if you don't have that, if you are too rigid or set in your ways, you will have problems. A lot of problems. And you will see that when your mates are moving ahead, you will struggle a lot. Right? So that's the third thing I want to say, because I noticed that, well, when maybe a few years ago, when I was, you know, where you were now, I didn't have like a lot of us were not really, I want to do tech, I want to do finance, I want to do capital markets. A lot of us were very flexible about what we wanted to do. So we're like, yeah, I'll do litigation, I will do this, I will do that. And I find out that if you have a mindset of I want to do this, when an opportunity comes that is not what you thought you wanted to do, you may not take it because you feel like, I don't want to do that. And it's not bad, because it also is also a way of saying, I know what I want, I don't want to be. It's also, I know what I want, I don't want to be confused by that thing. What I'm saying is that if you're not flexible, your path may not be straight. And the example I like to use, another example again of my friend Ada, I spoke about her already. Ada started out in a litigation firm. She wanted to do tax. She always wanted to do tax. But she started out in a litigation firm, and she did litigation for like maybe 3 or 4 years. For 3 to 5 years. And she was so angry. She didn't like it. But, you know, in all of it, she got her master's, started doing her CITN and everything. But today, she's in Deloitte now, and I think she has completed her associate CITN tax exams and all that. And I keep thinking about it that, what if she insisted and said, I need to do tax? So maybe when all the tax jobs came in, she just refused. When all the litigation jobs came in, she didn't learn. Do you understand? It was in all the things that she learned about managing people. When you're doing litigation, you need to manage people, all those things. By the time she now got into, you know, a Deloitte, she didn't join at a junior level. because she already had some kind of experience, and then a few months after she joined, she had double promotion. See, this is where I'm going really. The third thing I want you to take away as an employability skill is that you need to be teachable. You need to be able to learn very quickly, because you may start something and realize that, oh, this doesn't work. And let me go back to the example of how I said, oh, you start out thinking I'm going to use Word, you get somewhere, you find out that, oh, these people work with PowerPoint, oh, these people work with Excel. Will you say, they didn't teach me PowerPoint in school, what are people talking about? I beg, go. No. Do you understand? You will learn PowerPoint, you will learn Excel. Are you joking? It's not even an issue. Nobody will even tell you, like, you will just do it. Yeah. So you need to have that mindset that there is a kind of what you learn in school and what you see out there, they are in parallel lines, and I can tell you for free, whether in uni, whether in law school. What doesn't change, right, are the basics. What are the basics? No matter how good of a lawyer you are, you need to do research. No matter how good of a lawyer you are, you will draft something. If it's not email, it's an agreement. If it's not an agreement, it's a letter. So your drafting and communication skills, no matter how, good of a lawyer you are or wherever you are, you will do some advocacy. You will do some negotiation. You need to be able to convince people to, even if you are representing a client, it's not litigation. You may not, when he's in the courtroom, you say it's advocacy, but outside of the courtroom, it's not advocacy. You are trying to convince the other side to see that your arguments are better, your provisions in the contract, are better. That's negotiation skills. You need to relate with people, your clients, you need to relate with them. The same thing you learn in school when you are doing moot and mock, when you are, interpersonal relationship, when they put you in teams and subgroups. Even in law school, you also be put in teams and subgroups. You see that those basic interactions, those basic skills don't change regardless of the job. Even if you say you don't want to be a lawyer today, even if you say you want to become a content creator, you will write. Even if you say you want to be uploading videos on TikTok, you shall script what you want to script. You understand? Even if you want to be doing funny skits, you first of all have a scenario, you write it down, you say, I will wear a short tie, I'll go to this shop. You understand? So no matter what content, even if it's content creation, at the least, if you say, okay, this law is not for me, I'm done, I want to do content creation, you need to be able to still communicate. And so you see that the major things, the drafting, the research, even as a content creator, you need to research on ideas, you research on video editing apps. You understand? It's just that maybe as a read the oldies, we go to the library, look for textbooks. But you as a younger person, you probably have YouTube, you have ChatGPT, you have all those things, but you still need to do research. So you see that, but the mechanism for doing that research has changed. I won't use I won't explain. Maybe if someone like me, I was going to do research, I'm very comfortable with Google Scholar, very comfortable with Westlaw, very comfortable with Earn Online, because when I was in Unilag, we had all those international journals, so I can use them. But for you people now, what they call people Gen Z, they say people used to use ChatGPT. Do you understand? But do you understand? And now they say there are AI prompts, there are AI something. There are some things you learn, like how you talk to AI, that they give you the result that they want. At the end of the day, if I tell you that research skills is going into the library to use a law report and all that, for now that is it. In another 2 to 3 years, it will not be the same. But you still need to learn how to do research. The vehicle for exactly. So that's why you have to be teachable. You have to be able to learn things, so that when you learn those things, even if the vehicle changes, you are easily, because you learn easily, you are teachable, you're open to learning, you can easily pick up some things. You're not stuck in, if it's not NWLR. Some people tell you that they can't use law pavilion, they can use an NWLR. All right, NWLR is not available, deal with it. Do you see? So that's how some of these things. I see that even NWLR too is not there. They also have online resources, but a lot of people will tell you that they prefer law pavilions and NWLR. That's not your business. Your business as a lawyer is you need to learn to use both, because the subscription price is different. You may end up in a law firm that says, we can't afford NWLR, we have to use law pavilion. And when you grow up, when you get on in life, you'll see that a lot of things are relationship based. So your firm may decide to use NWLR because they probably have a personal relationship with somebody somewhere, and that's what they want to use. So you see, and in that case, you won't come, and when somebody employed you and they ask you, please can you search for the latest Supreme Court authority or something, you won't tell them that, sorry, it's law pavilion that we used to use in law school, so I can't really help you. Why people not use law pavilion? I can't use NWLR. No, It's not, unless maybe you want to be begging on the streets. Nobody will tell you. You understand? So I think that's really the third thing. Yeah. So now let me now talk to the fourth thing about, being legally about legal employability skills. Is I want to talk about the fourth thing. Again, like I said, I'm not really focusing on all these technical things, because I believe that technical things they're ephemeral. They will change. The world, things are changing so fast. So I just want you to get the basics, so that even when the core of the technicals change, you know what to do to get to the right one. So the fourth thing I'll talk about is preparation. Very, very important. And the example I like to use is the example. I remember my first interview that I ever went for. Hi. The first interview I ever went for, I remember that I didn't prepare. I just had my CV. And I remember that, like, the first 10-15 minutes into the interview, somebody looked at me, one of the panelists looked at me and said, that I'm giving up the vibe of somebody that they forced to study law. I was like, me? I felt short of asking, like, me? Are you serious? You can't be serious. But it was obvious because I didn't prepare for the interview. So the fourth thing I'll talk about being legally employable is you need to prepare. So when you want to apply for a job opportunity, read the call for application. If they say send a cover letter and send your CV, send your cover letter and your CV. Don't send a cover email. They are two different things. Do you understand? When they say we want a cover letter, when they say they want a few things, blah blah blah, read it. The firm you're applying to or the organization you're applying to, did you read about them? Did you check their website? You don't know who the managing partner is. You say you want to do disputes, you don't know who the person in charge of that disputes is. You don't know the name of the HR. The HR is a woman. You said yes sir. And this thing is public information. If you go to a lot of law firms, you see all the partners. Am I lying? No. You see all of our partners. You see all of this information in public domain. So when you make some applications or you put together some things, and people just see and they're like, what do you mean by this? What do you mean by that? You see, it just gives off this, are you sure you know what you are doing vibe? And so preparation is important. If you're applying for a job, at the very least, go to the firm's websites. Read about the firm. What do they do there? What are their practice areas? It's like applying to details solicitors now and saying that you have a dream of becoming an SAN. If you had gone to details solicitor, in fact, by their name, you will know that they only do what? They're only solicitors there. There is nobody doing any litigation. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, ma'am.
So you need to prepare. You actually need to prepare. So what it means is that you have to have somebody look through your CV. Don't send CVs with typos. Don't send things inside CV that you cannot defend. For every experience that you have in your CV, you need to be able to say, oh, what was I doing there? What did I learn there? What were the key things I did there? For every part of your CV, you need to be able to defend the content. Don't just put things. Don't just go to ChatGPT and copy things. Even if you want to copy, because when you come into the legal profession, you see that one of the highlights of when you get to law school as well, you see that one of the highlights of being a lawyer is that we use something called precedents. So we actually use templates, but we don't copy and paste. That's why somebody will go and copy something from Google, and you see that the governing law is the law of the United States, and they're in Nigeria. On what basis? So you see that preparation is very, very important. So let me not digress. You see that preparation is extremely important. Before you apply to things, before you respond to an application, read it. Read between the lines. Read for the things they're asking, for the things they're not asking. You know, if somebody says, oh, that they're applying for an NYSC associate, this thing. Even if you're not an NYSC associate, there's a way you write your cover letter that you put NYSC in it, even if you're not an NYSC associate. You say, oh, hoping to be called. There's a way you say, maybe your profile, you describe yourself as a law graduate expecting to be called to NYSC in 20. Do you understand? Because when the person that is reviewing this thing, when they don't see NYSC anyway, they say we need NYSC. Do you understand? They remove it. But if you there's a way you draft this thing, you'll be able to tell them that, look, this is what I'm doing. And so sometimes most of the reasons why we're not employable is that because we don't prepare well. Our CVs, our application materials are not well put together. We don't even get a chance, because by the time they are screening, because your application doesn't meet the initial requirements, you don't even get a chance to even come and show your brilliance. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So when we talk about employability, most of us just think about, oh, when I get there, I'll bamboozle them. But you have to get there first. That's it. You actually have to get there first. And the problem is most of us are disqualified at the point of getting there. So before you apply to a job, ask around. Who knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that works here? How do they do their CVs? What do they look out for? Ask questions. Some of these things are not in, some of the information that you may need to get into the room are not in public domain, but some of them are. Get the ones that are available in public domain, and also get the ones that are not available in public domain. Ask questions. Reach out to somebody that knows somebody. Say, tell them, do you know anybody? Put on your WhatsApp group. Do you know anybody in this place? Do you know any person in this place? Have you worked here? Check your LinkedIn contacts. The people that you follow on LinkedIn, some of them know somebody. When you click on a profile, you see related connections or something. You understand? You see all those. You may also like, you see all those people there. Check them out. Ask questions. A lot of people are friendly. The same way you have like badly behaved people, the same way you have a lot of friendly people. When you just ask people on Insta, on LinkedIn, and say good afternoon, blah blah blah, they will respond. They don't. Some people, this life is not that deep for some people. They will respond to you. I remember a professor that I just connected with her. She was one that came and I said, "Oh, hi Ayodele, it's nice to connect with you." I was like, I just sent you a request. It's really not that serious, but she did, and everything. And by the time I did my book launch and all that, I reached out to her. She was one of the people that, really helped me. She gave reviews, and very good reviews at that. So what's my point is, you need to prepare. When you have an application, ask questions. Go all the way out. Talk to your friends. When you're going for interviews, ask questions. Prepare. Get your friends to come and stay in front of you. Ask me questions. Pretend as if where you're listening. Put a mirror. Do a recording. Listen to yourself as you answer questions very well. Are you saying too much? Like? How do you know that you're saying rubbish if you don't listen to it? You're not preparing. You want to go to the interview and go and freestyle. You just think you can just submit anything to everybody. The competition is intense. And a number of you will now go ahead to apply for global opportunities. That's not how they do things. Your competition is somebody in Ghana. Your competition is somebody in the UK. Because after 2 years now, after you finish law school, you quickly go and do your master's, you want to look for a job. It starts from here. So you need to have that mindset that, first of all, like, you need to prepare. Regardless of whatever you're preparing for. Even if you're just applying for internship, applying for open day, applying for whatever, prepare. Research about research about the institution or the firm or the organization you're applying to. Research about the people there. Ask questions. Reach out to your friends and prepare. And gather some questions. Thank God for ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT, give me 5 possible interview questions for an associate at a law firm. I'm sure it will come out. Won't it be there? It's there now. So when it comes out like that, you send it to your friend and say, friend, I will call you on WhatsApp now. Be my interviewer. When you ask me a few questions and tell me how you answer. That's life. Because what people don't know. People just think that interviews, you just wake up and this thing. And as a Christian as well, I also believe in the powers of prayer. I pray. Because sometimes you may just go for an interview and your stomach will just start misbehaving. Of all days. You understand? There's no way your stomach will be dancing that you won't be comfortable. And all the things you thought, all the beautiful things you thought in your head, you just be all over the place. You can't say, sorry, please, I need to go and ease myself. You understand? Oh, how will you start from? You don't know. So, it's also like, I also pray for my interviews. And what's also important is that people, when you just enter a place, that you just find feel. There's a way, even when you are stammering, people want to help you. Say, oh, do you mean? They will even be completing your sentences for you. Meanwhile, another person will come and stammer. They'll be irritated. Anyway, that's even by the way. But I don't know if that's what I'm saying. Preparation is very, very important. Whether you're applying to Clifford Chance, whether you're applying, because that's the goal. Whether we want to admit it or not, the Nigerian dream for every lawyer is to work a little and then go to an English law firm. Am I lying? Is that not the goal? That's it. Now you join Linklaters, you join this, and you need to. If everybody leaves to Clifford Chance, who will be left in the NBA like this? But that's the point really. You need to prepare. Some of these things are not rocket science. Watch videos on YouTube. You see a lot of people that did their LLMs, because everybody now is a content creator. So plus information that you need, plus information that you don't need. Everybody is there on YouTube creating channels, telling you the things that they did when they were in law school, telling you the things they did when they were doing their LLMs, telling you the different things that they did. just so that you can hi Tosin, just so that you can have, you know, that goal, so that you can get into the door. So I think those are the 4 things I really wanted to say. Preparation is very important. Yeah, so I'll stop there. I think I want to take some questions before I'll take some questions, then I will.
Okay, anyone's question at the moment? If you have any question, can you please signify by raising your hand?
Okay, somebody has a question.
Okay, Sanusi Faiz, you can have me. Sanusi Faiz, are you there?
If you're speaking, you're muted, though.
Okay, we can hear you now. Sanusi Faiz, are you there?
Okay, I think he's muted. Oh. Or maybe can you type your question? If you remember, you're having internet connection, so you can type your question.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear. Okay, I can hear you now.
Yes, my question is that from what you have talked about so far concerning the grade and the reality being compatible with the grade, you talk about the quality of engagement also and preparation. So what I want to ask is that the preparation and prayer are they together or different?
Oh well. I think they are different. Like preparation is, I think, is part of it. Prayer is part of preparation, especially if you believe in God. If you don't believe, it's fine. You don't need to put prayer as your preparation, but that's it. So it's part of preparing. It's part of going. I mean, as Christians, I'm a Christian. I believe that the spiritual controls the physical. So we believe in praying to settle things before we go ahead, but it doesn't mean that we will not do the physical preparation, right? Because there are so many other things that you can't control. Your interviewer may be in a bad mood that day. You understand? You may say all the right things. They may just decide to tackle you. So what being spiritually prepared does is you pleading with God to ensure that the things that you cannot control are in your favor, because the things ideally at that time, the things that you can control, you've already done it, you've prepared, you've done everything that you need to do. But the things you can't control, for example, you can't prevent your boss from having a bus tire on that day, and you know how some of these public transport, they don't take care of their buses very well. You may book Uber, but that day Uber may just not come early. You get it? So there are some things that you cannot control, and that's where prayer comes. That's where you just intercede, you ask God to intervene and smoothing all the crooked paths ahead of you. So that's my faith. That's what I believe as a Christian, that even when you do the hard work, because the Bible tells us that even is in vain to watch it. Like as a laborer, you can watch it, as a watchman, you can watch a city, but it's in vain if God's hands are not on it. So that's my own belief as a Christian, that even if I do the hard work, it's God that does the blessings. Like for example, now you may prepare but you may fall sick on that day. It's God that gives good health. Some things that are not within your control that allow you to be able to enjoy the benefits of your preparation. So it's not, they are different, but they're also interrelated. So if you're not a person that prays, if you don't believe in God, if you're agnostic or if you're an atheist, it's fine. You don't have to do that. You understand? People just believe in luck and coincidences. I don't believe in that. I believe that as a child of God, I can control so many things if I take it to a place of prayer. So they are not the same, but they are related. Some people do without the other, but I think that both of them are important. So I don't know if I answered your question, Salusi.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. We have another question. That class, please. Let's have it.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Liable. So I'm using the official website of the association, email of the association. So my question is this: when you're talking about flexibility, you're talking about being flexible in choosing a career choice, and you're advising us to explore various practice areas and to be teachable in choosing a career. So I want to ask you this question. I've applied for internships and I've done internships in various firms in Nigeria. And in the internship, just have request any available place for you to come and intern with them to explore those areas of law. Now, one is likely to apply for a job offer, let's say for an associate. Are you expected to tailor yourself towards a particular practice area? I understand that you mentioned that if one is seeking an opportunity in the firm, you are expected to find someone that knows someone that is working there to guide you. But as a general advice, are you expected to tailor yourself towards a particular area? Let's say now I have partial interest in finance law. Am I expected to tailor my CV towards that? Or I can just apply for, I can just send in my application and wait to fit in the place.
Okay, so let me explain like this. So at least this is my second law firm. So what I have observed is that for people that are coming out of law school, and I stand to be corrected, nobody really expects you to know so much. Let me not say that nobody expects you to know so much. Like, obviously, people expect you to know, but the way it is that nobody expects you to come with, I want to do finance and all that, because you don't really know. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. The truth is, what is happening in practice and what you're being taught are not exactly the same. There's a lot of gap. So you see that most firms take fresh law school people. They say they are trainees. Do you understand? So they are taking you to train you. So the point I'm trying to make is that having to tailor your CV one way or the other may not really help, because at least where I work now in Templars, they rotate them. So they are on their first rotation now. We have people in finance. In another 4 months or how many months, they will move again. They will change them. So that way, in like 1 year or 12 months or so, you would have gone around all the units, so that people will now. So it's not a matter of what I like. People that you work with also now tell you that you may like this thing, but you're not natural. You don't have that natural. You understand? You're not doing it well. Because some things come easily. So there are two things. Some things can come easily to you, and some things may not come easily to you, but you want to do it. The way you will work when something comes easily to you is different from the way you will work when something doesn't come easily to you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you do that rotation like that, you will now know that although I want to do NGO, but I'm struggling, I need to correct one or two things. So this is where I'm going. Because people, even in JLS as well, we don't do like a strict rotation, or they didn't do. When I was in JLS, they used to do a strict rotation, but everybody sort of agreed that your first year was a year of training. Nobody will come and hold your head that you didn't do this thing well, because they know that they are training you. That's my understanding of how law firms work. So this is where I'm going. As a first year, as a fresh graduate from law school, nobody's expecting you to come with any expertise. Having done an internship is great. But again, we all know that because of the confidential nature of our work, there is a limit to how much experience you can get as an intern. And I'm sure you understand what I'm saying, if you have interned as well. So again, nobody's coming to come and say, you have to have goat head, you have to have goat leg, you have to do this. No. The understanding is they are coming, these are people that are molded, that we can mold and see. That's why I said the biggest service you can do to yourself is to be flexible and teachable. Because if you pick up things very easily, people will be more forgiving of your mistakes. They'll say, this person has has good grades, and the person is willing to learn, and they are picking up things fast. I can work with them. I can make it work. So to answer your question, because nobody is expecting you to have any tailor-made CV, seriously, nobody. You understand? Because you are just fresh. Your mind is, whatever you were taught in school is quite different from what happens in practice. There's a lot of training that you need to undergo. So that's the mindset people will look at you with. So when they're engaging you, they want to engage you in terms of the integrity of your CV. If you say you've done this and that, when they ask you questions, like I said, what you put on paper and what you are presenting in your engagement, are they aligned? You can't say that you were something in intellectual property society I ask you 3 or 4 questions on copyright, you are stammering. Do you understand? It doesn't know. So what I'm going to even be asking you is just basic stuff. I'm not even, if you now know a lot, that's very excellent. I don't know if I've answered your question. So nobody's expecting you to have like CV that is 5 pages. If somebody that just finished school has CV of 5 pages, run. What are you doing? Because you've not done anything. And that's the truth. I'm not trying to look down on your experience and say, no, I'm not saying you're not smart. No, but the difference between you and what somebody that is in a law firm, is experience. You don't have it. So nobody will judge you. So I acknowledge that the knowledge I have is not because maybe I'm smarter than you. It's because I've seen this transaction once. I've seen it twice. I've seen it 3 times. I've done this thing day in, day out for how many years? So you can't compare to someone that they just taught you 4 topics in 5 weeks and then they gave you an exam. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Very well.
So don't be under unnecessary pressure to maybe bamboozle, maybe put your CV that I did finance. No, be honest, but be able to defend what is on your CV. Oh, I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that, I learned this. Be able to show that for each activity, this is a key takeaway, this is a key achievement that I had. And when people ask you questions about your CV, when people ask questions about your grade, let the quality of your engagement reflect the grade you say you have. If people hear you, people can hear that, oh, this person had a 2-1, has a 2-1, and I can hear that intelligence and that learning, that interest in learning. I can't hold this against you now. I've done many deals that probably take you like another 4 or 5 years to do. I can't judge you based on that. And when you put me beside somebody that has done it for 20 years, the difference is clear. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So I don't know, as of today, I don't know whether it will change in the future. As of today, most people take as trainees. Almost all the top law firms take as trainees. In fact, I think it's only GLS that takes you as a full-time staff from day one. And they know that it's part of the training, but they don't call you a trainee, you're a full-time staff. For other people, it's not that way. In fact, some law firms, after you do NYSC with them, they don't retain you if you don't meet their performance matrix. You understand? They will tell you that they will judge you with some KPIs when you're coming in. You can ask if you have people that have gone, ask them. I don't know if that's what I'm saying. So you see that is a really tough this thing there. But I think the most important thing, what I keep saying is that you can't go wrong if you are willing to learn and you're flexible. Like, just forget all these things. Oh, I was first class in school. All these things. Yes. I know you are smart. Everybody is smart. Everybody. But in this law profession or in this training or in this law firm that you're in, they have their rules. If you don't calm down and learn, if you don't ask questions, you won't get in and you won't succeed there. Do you understand? But the thing is that the basic thing is you just need to know, like I said, you just need to know the basics. You understand? You just need to know the basics. That's just the truth. I don't know if I've answered your question. So don't be bothered about, should my CV be finance? Should my CV be IP? If it's IP you've done, is IP. If it's that's where engaging people that work in the firm comes in. They now tell you, this is how you should present yourself. This is how you should arrange this thing. Oh, the partner that will do your interview is in energy. Do you understand? They have inside information. They'll just say, oh, let me call HR. Who is going to do interview on so day? Oh, to XYZ. They'll call you, when is your interview? You say so what time? They'll confirm from HR what time. Who is the partner that is going to do the interview? Oh, they'll say this so and so partner. The person will just say, this partner is like this partner is like that. Read about the partner. Some partners like to ask personal questions, blah blah blah. That's all. It's not about showing your talent. Your interview is, this person has to like me enough for me to get in there. So your entire mindset about being employable is that, these people want to hear something. This place I'm applying to, they want to hear something, they want to see something. What information do I need to put into my application so that when they hear me and they see me and they see my paper, they see what they want to see, they hear what they want to hear, and I'm doing exactly what they think what I think they want to do. I don't know if you understand. So that's why all this you're smart is okay, is good, but interviews and getting into the door, they're different rule. You need to prepare for it. You get? So I don't know.
Thank you very much. Please, I have a follow-up question.
Okay.
So I just want to repeat this. Do you now think it's better for someone who has not gotten any entry to specialize in one area or to have partial interest in one area before getting involved? Or do you think one should just be exploring several areas of practice, probably as a student in university or if they're going to law school, or even after your law school, what you get into. So do you think one should be partial in one area or just explore all the other areas of law?
Okay, so I'll answer it in two ways, right? The first thing I want to say is that it's not bad. I know, like, I feel like life is made up of two kinds of people. People that they are like they are like blocks. When they say I want A, that's it. They are not looking at anybody else. That's what they are very sure. Like, this A, I'm following till I die. I'm not going anywhere. And there are people like the other set of people that they're just like, life is not that deep. Anyone that comes my way. If you feel like you are very sure, like nothing can change your mind, this is what you want to do, what I would say is, by all means, if you know that, oh, I want to, this is why I'm not bothered, I want to just do this IP, I want to do it with all my life. So you are getting WIPO experience, you're getting a plan experience, you're following Jacksonetti and Edu, you are doing everything IP, you are just there. What IP day, you are on your LinkedIn page and everything, that's okay. But what I'm just saying is that you just never, like me, I don't, those kind of people, I respect them. What I just say is that sometimes you don't know. For example, now, if I've not eaten amala before, you will never know that amala is actually banging. Or if you've not eaten fufu and edikaikong before, do you understand? If you just say, I want to eat amala and ewedu every day of my life, you eat amala and ewedu every day of your life, you will grow, nothing will happen to you, you are doing okay. But you will never know that there's another soup called fufu and edikaikong, or there's another food called Chinese rice. You will never know. And that's also okay too. I don't know if you understand where I'm going to. Do you get? I feel like once you've chosen, you have to understand that you have restricted yourself to that thing. You will never know whether you have affinity or interest in something else because you've never tried. You've never given yourself the opportunity to try. Does that make sense? So what I'm saying is that when you make that decision, you need to be comfortable with that. That's the part of life you have taken. You want to do only that. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
It's not bad. But if you now say, look, I'm still young, you understand? I want to, like, how do I know my capabilities if I don't try? How will I know that I can do energy or something? How will I, do you understand? You said, what do they, in that energy, what do they do there? In that fintech, let me just know. When I now know, I don't like it too. You know, when you eat amala, if you say, that fufu smells badly, I can't touch it with my life, I'm not eating it again. You know. Do you understand? You know that it's not because, oh, I just like amala. You know that I've eaten amala, I've eaten fufu. I know that I don't like fufu. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So my approach is, that's it. If you say it's only this thing you want to do, just have it at the back of your mind that when an opportunity comes to do something else, because you've chosen, you may not see that, and that's okay if that's what you want. But if you say, well, I've had all these things, but if an opportunity comes, maybe because of applying, I applied to a firm and they say, we will take you on rotation. So let me say, for example, I'm interested in IP. And then I go to a firm where they say, okay, 4 months you stay in finance, 4 months you stay in capital, 4 months you stay in this and that. If I say I just want to do IP, people are wasting my time, I will do those rotations and I will not get the benefits of all those places because I just feel like I just want to do IP, people are wasting my time. But you can also say I want to do IP, and then when they take you to finance, you say, oh, this is what finance is. They take you to energy, you say, this is what energy is. They take you, you don't say that I see all these things that are going on, but I still want to do IP. Who has made a better informed decision? You see that it's the second person. Do you understand? So what I would say is, if you feel like it's one thing you want to do, that's okay. If you feel like, well, even if I want to do one thing, I don't mind learning, which is why I said about being flexible. Let's see. If I don't, or you can also say, well, I don't have anything I'm doing. I can still taste and see that the Lord is good by going everywhere and decide. That's also good. But what I would say is that in all of these scenarios, the person that I feel that wins the most is the person that keeps an open mind. You get.
I think your mic is muted.
Yes, I'm so sorry. Okay, Mama, I'd also like to ask a question. While answering this question, you talked about applying for roles like during an entry level. So I'd like to ask, in a situation whereby you're not like it's not your employer, let's say you've been called and you've been working or you've been doing something before, like you are not applying to the firm as an NYC associate. So then let's say maybe they need something for energy and you do not have anything for it, or there's like maybe like there are some specific criteria that has been enlisted that applicants must have and you do not have. Let's say you have some, you do not have some, or you do not even have any. Like, is it still right to actually apply for such a role, or it's better not to apply, or if you want to apply, what are the things you have to do to actually fit in, even though you do not have the enlisted specific criteria?
Okay, by all means, I'll say apply. So there was something I saw somebody said something on Twitter and said that as a matter of principle, even when they have work, they just randomly apply for interviews, so that when they go, like that keeps them on their toes. So you know that when you go out, so this is what people expect somebody of my knowledge and my standing to have. So what I would say is that as a matter of principle, don't shy from applying, because it will also help you to. So for example, if you are young and you can still make some career decisions, going for interviews can help you know that there's a gap in your knowledge. Okay, so this is, I need this, maybe I should do this certification, take this course, read more about this, you see. So don't think about interviews. Those people think about interviews like, oh, if I don't get the job, I've failed. Do you understand? So let's settle that first, that an interview can be successful even if you don't get the job. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
So let's keep it that way. Okay, I don't know. I've not finished. I've not really.
Oh, all right.
Okay, so the second thing I wanted to say is that now when you see that you don't have the rights, maybe you feel like you meet some, you don't meet some, it's good to get help with putting your application together. Do you understand? It's good to get help, because whoever, and then maybe also get some inside information, because some people tell you that, well, some people tell you that some of those things are you, and then when you also look at the job description, some people will tell you in the job application they will list some of these things, but they'll tell you the one that is just preferably, like they'll just say something is preferable, not necessarily important, or it will give you an added advantage. So that can also help you tailor your CV, but get help. So people that professionally prepare CVs and prepare professional letters or something, there's a way they will help you arrange some information that you have and highlight. There's a way they will highlight the ones you don't have and gloss over the ones that you have in such a way that by the time they even see your application, they will not even realize that you don't meet the requirement. So by all means apply, but also prepare. So prepare by getting a professional, or maybe your friend. If you don't have money for professional, your friends. And as I talk about having people in those places, ask questions. Can somebody help me? Or even if it's not somebody in that place, can be somebody in a competing firm, but of similar experience and seniority. So you get, so even if you want to apply to, for example, let's say like a Clifford Chance number, you have somebody in Linklaters, you can say, can you look at this because they are the same in the same hair. So that can also help.
Thank you so much. The lack of, please let's have
Hello.
Yes, hi. Yes, good evening.
Okay. So my question is more specific. So I went for an interview last week, and I was asked to justify why I should be paid.
Why you should be paid?
Why I should be paid? How much the HR had we'd already had the discussion. That was my second stage interview, and I was with the MD, and he asked me I should just justify why I should be paid how much the HR was saying would be the salary. And I've never come across that kind of question. I tried.
I myself am shocked. I'm sure that if I was in the interview, I would be like,
Actually, I'm very sure because it wasn't one of the questions I've been preparing for, or using YouTube checks, or even asking people. It was just from the left field. I didn't expect it at all. And when I justified it, the man was like, he doesn't still feel that justifies it because I'll be making use of all his software while he's upgrading my skill level. That because he's very sure that even with the competency in Microsoft packages that I'm saying I have, and technology survey that I have, that it still would not be up to the standard. So for like the first 2 months, I'll be making use of all the services in this company, Wi-Fi, the electricity. So it doesn't seem to be paying that much. So for that kind of situation, what would you advise should be the answer to that kind of question?
So I'm not really sure. Like, I'm really not sure what the answer, because I myself, maybe I may even just start up and leave you now. Why are you joking with me? I think maybe one thing could also be to say this is market. Like, this is what I believe, somebody of my experience, and you can say it's competitive, that this is what somebody of your experience in a similar firm is also going to be paid. But I think a very much more important is to say that you are, like, if he could do the work, he won't be looking for you. Like, I'm going to use your resources, right? But you also need me.
You are giving a value.
Yes.
So I'm also like,
yes, I did.
Exactly, like, you also need me to. Yes.
But then he was like, no, but I wouldn't be exhibiting my value in the first 2 months, because it would be busy training me to be up to
everywhere.
Up to standard.
And I think that's what, because even like I just changed my office. I used to be at JLS and I moved to Templars, but I know that JLS is not Templars. Templars is not JLS. I have to learn some things in Templars, that this is how they do their things. Nobody's going to say they will pay me less because I'm trying to get into their step. I'm new. Of course, I won't just know. I'm not. I mean, is there, maybe you tell him that if that's what I want to do, maybe you should put a microchip in your brain. Should give you a microchip, so that for all new employees, when they join, you just put the micro. You know how if you're changing hard disk from laptop to laptop, you just take the hard disk and put in everything continues, because it's the same information. But human beings, we don't work like that. It doesn't really work. Don't mind, he was just trying to shake you. There's no other answer to the question. You're bringing, like, one way or the other, you're bringing something. If what you were going to do was not required, they will not employ you. They will not need you. That's just the truth.
I actually just felt some type of way, because even the industry, because I did my research, even the industry salary was not what he was offering.
So it was a little bit less. So you should have even told himself, actually, that you're not even paying me something competitive. Yeah, but I understand, but you have to be tactful, so that it's not like you're being rude or things. You know how people can. But say, after all, just young, what are you talking about? All these things. It's not. I think they're just trying to shake you. But yeah, no matter how somebody is, you know how people just say, oh yeah, you don't know anything. If they don't need you, they will not be looking for you. It's because they see that even if I have to train this person, I see that in another 6 months, that training will pay off. In another 2 months, that training will pay off. So you're not really paying for now, you're paying for the future, because you know that if another 2 months I'll do really well. Yes, I think it's a good place to stop, right?
Sorry, do we have any other person question? Maybe not necessarily a question, maybe a comment or something. Oh, Awad, let's have it.
Okay, thank you very much. Mine, I don't know if it's a question or something, but I'm just genuinely curious. What do lawyers do in a law firm?
What do lawyers do in a law firm? Okay. So we do, it depends on what you're doing, but basically it's either you are going to court to file a paper, or go to court for a hearing date, or you are sending emails, you are responding to questions. So somebody says, oh, this something just happened, what does this mean for our business? You're telling them, oh, section this of this says this, in our opinion this. You're also interacting with regulators. So somebody says, something, oh, we have somebody at CBN, we'll ask a question and come back to you. Or somebody says, oh, I need a lawyer to do this work, so you're sending them your fee quota, saying, oh, I can help you. So basically it's just, you're running a business, like, it's just like how you go to let's say a kiosk to buy something, and the madam asks you what you want. You say, I want biscuits, can I have that? But instead of biscuits, you are giving legal advice. You're saying, oh, this is how we'll do what we want to do. Or you go to hospital to see a doctor and they tell you take malaria tablets, do a surgery. But instead of giving malaria tablets or doing a surgery, you are giving legal advice by email, you are giving signed opinions, or you are saying, or you know how they'll say, let me call our senior. I don't know if I've been in a hospital where they're making ward rounds and then they will now call another senior consultant. So you call your partner, you call this person, you call that person. So basically you are providing a service. It's just that instead of one person, you have a lot of other people. So you can say, oh, let me confer with my colleague here, let me confer with my colleague there. So it's a lot of things. You are responding to questions, you are going to court, you are trying to engage regulators, especially if you need to file things. So for things they file, we file stuff with CAC, file stuff with FCCPC, you're putting together application, you're writing letters, you're writing emails, you're on calls, you're having meetings. The way we're having meetings now, you can have a transaction. Maybe somebody wants to lend money to a bank. You're having a call with the bank, you're having a call with the lender, you're having a call with everybody. This is what we need, this is how much we need, these are the terms of it and all that. I don't know if I answered your question.
Thank you so much. It was such an insightful session, and I must say that I've gained a lot, and I want to believe that every other person has gained one thing or the other. So she has talked about being teachable, having good grades, which is very, very foundational and important. And your grades must tally with your reality. You should be able to say, okay, well, this is the grade I have, and I can actually offer this is how invaluable I am, and it should tally with the grades you have. You should be teachable, and you should prepare in anything you want to do. You should prepare interviews, anything. Make sure you prepare, because when you prepare, you are able to know what are the possible things that you might meet during an interview or at any stage of an interview. So thank you so much.
Thank you
for such an insightful session, and we look forward to having more. So I'd call on the president of the association to give this event. Mr. Bless Olugagbe, can we have you?
Thank you everyone. Bye.
You've done enough. You've really said a lot.